What's going on, guys? Dr. Matt here, host of the ROX Lab podcast. We have another special guest on today, Jaime Desso. What's going on? Glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. So yeah, and shout out Kevin for making this happen. He was really the mastermind behind today. So harassing us in the comments on the in Instagram, doing what he does best. But just to give a super brief background because we're gonna dive deep into this, but on kind of who you are and what you do. But I know you're a big kettlebell advocate. Uh,
Yes.
using it in the classroom. If you don't follow Jaime already, the Kettlebell Classroom is the Instagram tag there, and you're doing some really cool stuff, getting kids many times off their screens and actively moving very well. I might add. I went through quite a few of your videos. I'm like, how are these kids moving better than me with some of these movements?
It's
Insane.
really it blows my mind how quickly they learn. They just pick up on a skill so because it took me a long time to even master a swing. So
Yeah,
the way these kids get this, and I'm always like, all right, I got to think of something else to teach them. Then I'm like, can I teach them the half kneeling windmill? I'm like, I don't know. Then they do it, and I'm like, all right.
incredible. Yeah, that was one of the movements in particular I saw. I'm like, and they're doing the half kneeling windmill position, which is like to our video listeners, you're kind of like bent over, one kneel position, your arms up into the air. Mobility restrictions on most people are tough for that one, but obviously the kids a lot of times aren't restricted there, but the
Right.
coordination can be tough. But yeah, I'm like, oh man, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
the other
That's
thing
so
about
cool.
I noticed that kids are like, kids are more fearless. I think adults are
Sure,
like scared of being injured, so they don't try things. And kids are
sure.
like, no, I want to try. Like they don't care, even out on the playground, they're gonna be on the monkey bars, like swinging around. And I feel like when you're fearless like that, that you really like you get less injuries, honestly. Even the
Totally,
way I
totally.
train, everyone's like, "How? I can't believe you don't get injured. You're throwing around crazy heavy weight," and I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. I mean, I just did recently get injured. Someone wished that upon me, but like 4 years I've been training with kettlebells, and I've had one injury, and it was my fault. Like I smashed the kettlebell in my hand. Like it wasn't
Oh,
due to lifting. I tried to
yeah.
catch it in my house. And
Oh,
so it was like my own stupidity. But I just think that fearless factor, and you're right, their mobility, obviously, they're not old like I am. So it took me forever to get the mobility part down. And
sure,
they just do
sure.
it the first day I teach them, they're doing it. So it's really
That,
cool to see.
that yeah, that's super cool. I think you're exactly right, and because if you're timid in the gym with a lot of these movements, like you're gonna be stiffer, you're not gonna move as
Yeah.
well. But if you have a good teacher, if you have good confidence and you're
Yeah.
fun with it, then it's a lot of times easier to get into these positions. So that's really cool. Give a quick background. So I've just from your Instagram bio, I have you help busy professionals get fit, quick, effective kettlebell workouts. You have the Strong First
Yes.
certification, which I know that's a pretty highly valued or highly recommended kettlebell certification. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. And
Yeah, it was a great that was an experience, a whole weekend of that was humbling for sure. So yeah, I'm a teacher, right? And I taught first and second grade for many years in my last school district. I just moved to a new school district this year, so now I'm not a classroom teacher. I'm teaching ENL students, so English as a new language.
cool.
So I push into classrooms or I pull out small groups, second and third grade. So I was very nervous about starting this because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just started the kettlebell classroom last year, and now I'm at this new district. I don't know, like, I don't even have my own class. How am I going to do this? But they were very. I talked to the principal right away. They were very like welcoming of it, and so the classes that I push into, those teachers are like they love it. They're like, "Oh, Friday, can you come into my?" And now other classes that I don't even work with are like asking me to go in. But yeah, I got into kettlebells shortly after COVID. Actually, my ex-boyfriend started using them, and I was a bodybuilder, like straight bodybuilder, just bro lifting, arm day, back day, like that. And he got into the kettlebells during COVID, and one day just like showed me, and I started playing around with them, and I swear, like the first time I touched them, I just fell in love. I was obsessed. Like I wasn't good, but it was
Sure.
a great workout. Like I was just like, I love these. And they started making, the gym, I guess, fun again. And so I started just training really mainly, my God, I can't even talk. Mainly kettlebells. Um, and then I decided I hired a coach for a couple months because I just wanted to get the technique down. And then I went to get certified myself. So I do train some clients on the side. I don't have a lot in person. Mainly I have programs that people buy that they buy from
Cool.
me online and just follow them, and I send them videos or they email me with like questions and stuff like that. So at some point I would like to get into more personal training, but I kind of want to go towards like the kid route.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done some kid classes like on the weekends, and they're a lot of fun. And I don't know. I'm just a kid person. I don't really love adults. I just
Fair
get
enough.
along with kids, and I like teaching kids. So I'm like, why not like combine the two passions?
No, 100%. And uh, one, which is great because a lot of trainers don't really have good experience with kids. So we need people like you to be like, hey, I work with kids. I'm great with kids. Kids are, I mean, kids
People are
can be
awkward with
tough.
kids.
Kids can be
People
tough.
are awkward with
Yeah.
kids.
Kids can be tough. Like getting them to organize themselves into a class. Like yeah, as a teacher, obviously, as you know, but like sometimes when we get kids like in group fitness or CrossFit class, like no, don't do that, don't touch that,
They're
come
all
over
over the place.
here. It can be tough. So you definitely, if you can work with them, and obviously you do have a gift to be able to do that and have them move in the way that you're having them move is and keep their focus and actually talk about that because you had a mention on some of your Instagram posts that I was looking at is like, here's another win. We got the kids to actually vote for doing some of these kettlebell movements today instead of watching a movie or instead of using their screens. Like they actually were interested in doing some of this stuff, which I think a lot of people listening that have kids or parents or whatever minds might be blown by that. Be like, what do you mean they said no to a screen?
It blew my mind too. I can't even explain it. These especially these third graders, the two third grade classes I'm in. So, I mean, a lot of times right before the holidays or right before a break, it's like they're on the Chromebooks. Well, I mean, they're on the Chromebooks too much already. Just school, that's the school system now. Like they're doing tests on Chromebooks. They're doing this program called iReady, where they're taking actual like reading and math lessons on Chromebooks. And I'm like, well, then why do we have teachers? It's just so much screen time and they're already getting all that screen time at home. Like I know I don't have kids, but a lot of my friends have kids, and their kids are always behind this. They're playing video games or they're on their parents' phones just to like keep them quiet. They're not. It's not like it used to be where we would go outside in the neighborhood and play all day and come home for dinner. Like that's how I grew up. We didn't have screens, so
Right.
um, just seeing that in the classrooms, like I just like it. It bothers me. It really does bother me. So, for them to actually I bring in the kettlebells and the excitement that I mean, I walk in the room and they're just like so excited that I have, or some days I walk in and I don't have my kettlebells and they're like, are we doing kettlebells today? Like they're so obsessed with it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like my obsession, like passing over to them because I'm like so passionate about it,
Sure.
or kids just like they think of it as like they see it as like a game or like a sport or I don't know. But when I get up in that classroom and like stand in front of them and teach them about kettlebells, there's not a sound. Like they are completely. Now I could get up and teach a lesson about character traits and reading, and there's going to be kids, moving around, talking, interrupting me. But when I'm up there, like demonstrating kettlebell movements, I can't even believe there's literally not a sound. They're just completely
Wow.
engaged.
Wow.
I,
They're interested.
they are. They really are. They love doing it. They love learning new movements. I think it just like builds this confidence in them. They're all like cheering for each other. They're all like helping each other, and it definitely like establishes like a bonding community too. Like
Sure,
even
sure.
last year when I was doing it with my entire class, we were in our school talent show together. We were in school assemblies together. We had the news come into our classroom. Like our class was special. We were different. There was not another class in our school that was like that. So my students were like proud to be in my class. I
That's
remember we were like outside at field day one day. Everyone, I always get comments. They're like, her class is winning field day every year. But we were outside. We were outside at field day, and there was these officers, these Troy cops, um, just standing there. And as we're walking by, I had no idea who they were. They were like, "Wait, are you Kettlebell Classroom?" These like police officers knew my class, so they like felt so cool that I'm like, guys, we're famous.
yeah, right. That's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I just honestly have not met a kid yet who does not like a kettlebell. I haven't met one. I even have kids that I tutor and they come to my house and they see all my kettlebells because I tutor like right in my workout kettlebell room, and then I
yeah.
have like the kids kettlebell rooms there, and they'll go home and they'll ask their parents like, "Can I get a kettlebell for Christmas?" I mean, a couple of them got them for Christmas, so
That's cool.
yeah, I haven't. They just really do love it.
You literally are changing the culture of, I mean, the school, the class you're in, and these kids' lives if they're like excited to get kettlebells for Christmas. Like that is
Yeah.
that's big.
Well, the so last year was really special. I worked in a district that was very underprivileged children.
Yeah.
Lots of behaviors, lots of like not at home support. I mean, most of their parents I never even met. They don't come to parent teacher conferences. Like it's just not, school is not their priority. And I raised enough money with my friend Moses, who makes the kettlebells for kids, that each of them got to bring a kettlebell home at the end of the year. So they all got to keep theirs. And I'll
That's
have like their parents. Sometimes the parents will find me on Facebook and send me a message or like a video. And one video, it was so cute. I posted it a while ago in the summer. And it was one of my students, and she was teaching her little brother how to use the kettlebell. And she was literally like talking like me. I was like, oh my God, she's using my language. And the little brother was like clapping and like giving her a thumbs up. And it was the cutest thing ever. And I'm like, I'm just so happy that they're still using them
right.
even though they're not in the classroom with me.
That's cool. So you mentioned something there too. You're friends with the guy who's actually making these kettlebells for kids. So
Yes.
are they like specially designed for kids? Like obviously, I'm guessing they're lighter or maybe
Yes.
safer or
So they are lighter. The ones I use are, I have 2 and 4 kgs. God, I'm so bad with the kg math when it's lightweight like that. But
that's what like
I think it's like
five
6 pounds or
Yeah.
yeah. And then I have a couple 10 kgs. Like he actually gifted me. I went to I don't know if you've ever heard of Kettlebell Fest. It's like this
No.
big event they hold every 6 months, and like coaches and people from all over the world get together, and it's like a weekend of kettlebell workouts and stuff. I actually coached at one in Denver. And when I was there, he wasn't there, but he gifted me with this golden kettlebell for kids. And they like called me up on the stage. And
Very
so then
cool.
I brought that into my classroom, and it was just like the big deal, like the golden kettlebell. But that's the heaviest one. I think that's like 10 kgs. But they are like,
Yeah.
it's like the Olympic bells that you use, like that you'll see, like, not cast iron. They're aluminum, I want to
Okay.
say,
Okay.
but they're designed like their dimensions are like made for kids. Like they're just like when I'm using it, it's very awkward. Like my arm, I can't fit my arm through it like I could like my kettlebells and do like a zercher squat with. They're
Sure.
just the dimensions are a lot smaller and they're lighter weight.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, they're awesome. He's a great guy, and I've finally met him in person in Vegas this summer because he lives out there. So we've been like friends just through Instagram, and I got to meet him, and we went and had lunch, and it was cool. He's a great person.
That's awesome. Um, and I want to ask you this too because I mean another piece of that, which sounds like the kettlebells are perfectly made for kids. Have you gotten? It sounds like not a ton, or if you have, you've done a good job of overcoming it. But have you gotten any pushback from schools, teachers, parents of like, hey, we need to be learning. We don't need to be playing with kettlebells in the class or anything like that, or they're dangerous or something like that.
Honestly, so not really from like parents of my students or administration. I get the pushback from trolls online.
Fair,
Like people
fair.
online will be like, "This we're paying our dollars
Oh my
for
god.
this, and these kids are gonna get injured." I think they think they're lifting like 20 pounds. I'm like, no, their book bags are heavier than these kettlebells.
Sure,
But
sure.
I had one parent um, give me a little pushback last year, but she totally came around. I think it was more
Nice.
like she actually it was very strange. She like wrote me this email. She was like, "I'm sorry that I treated you that way. My son was so happy to come to school every day, and he would come home and talk about the kettlebells." And she's like, "And I was jealous." She literally was like, "I was jealous." I was like, because that's usually what it is when there is pushback. Like even these trolls online, it's like you're jealous. Like something in your life is missing, so you're going after this teacher online that you don't. I don't even have your kids in my class, and they're like,
Right.
"I'm so glad my kid's not in your class." They started calling and emailing my superintendent telling him I should be fired. So I had my principal came to me one day, but I'm very lucky. Like my principal loved what I was doing. I think the superintendent, whatever the principal liked, he was like, fine. So she came to my room she was like, "I'm not asking you to stop. I'm just letting you know this is happening." He's getting
Sure.
emails and phone calls. And it was like, I go, "Well, where are these people from?" She's like, "They're from like Minnesota." And like, she's like, "Nowhere here." And I'm like, this is so crazy. That's when I actually changed my handle to Kettlebell Classroom because before it was like Kettlebell Bish, like Bish. So I think that was one thing they were saying. They were like, her handle's inappropriate. They always talk about like my music, like the music
Sure,
I work out to, which has
sure.
nothing to do with my students. Like they're like, she works out to this music. And I'm like, what? So I can't listen to music? I'm not putting that music on in my classroom. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It's just, they hold teachers to these like crazy standards. And it's like, no, we're people too. Like,
Sure.
I'm two different people. I'm a completely different person in the classroom than I am outside of the classroom. So I've been very lucky. I always say this too. I'm like, I don't know how I haven't been fired. I say it all the time, but I think they all see what it does for the kids, and they're like, we can't be mad at this. Like even if we
Right.
wanted to, they're like, what are we gonna do? Like tell her she can't do this? And these kids like absolutely love it, and they're doing better in school. They're building confidence. They're building healthy life habits. And we're just gonna tell her, no, you can't do this. And I think
Yeah.
that that's nobody has it been able to like rationalize saying like stop, so they just let me do it. I don't even like, I just do whatever I want now. I just go in, I'm like, all right, today we're doing this. And
Right.
we do math word problems. They'll ask, like the third graders were like, can we do kettlebell math again? Because one day I went and I literally came up with word problems to do with like our class. And if we were doing this complex and we were doing this many swings and this many squats and blah. And so it involved multiplying, dividing, all of that. And they were so engaged in that lesson. They were working together in their groups. They had their whiteboards. They were trying to figure out like how many reps they would do or how much time it would take to do this. And then they would come up and they would get to do it. So, like, you can implement it so many ways into the curriculum. It doesn't only have to be like, today we're going to learn a swing. And it's great for that. They need the movement, but you can also leverage it to other things. I mean, even their writing pieces. I went in and I did a writing piece, we're doing nonfiction writing. So I modeled doing it about kettlebells. And I was like, here's my table of contents. What are kettlebells? First chapter, or where to get kettlebells, what you can do with kettlebell, like just simple like that. And then they all started writing like about kettlebells. Sometimes they'll like choose to write about it too. So um, just engaging them in the writing process too. So
Yeah. That's cool. You be creative and find a ton of different ways to incorporate it, or like, hey, we're finding so many benefits from it. Like, let's see if these benefits can expand to other subjects, even, which is
right.
cool. There's something else I saw on your Instagram. Someone who's an idol to me in the field of physical therapy is Kelly Starrett, and I saw that
Oh
yeah,
yes.
he came out and was like, hey, this girl Jamie is doing something special here, like getting these kids involved with the
That was so cool that he
with
he he
kettlebells. Yeah,
collabed me on that. And you want to know what's so funny? I wasn't even following him. I had no idea who he was. No
yeah,
idea. And
yeah,
all these people, someone I work with, I was sitting next to her. We were in our office. We're both ENL specialists, so we have an
yeah.
office together. and she's sitting next to me and she goes on her phone and she follows him and she goes, "Oh my God." She's like, "You're on my Insta." And she runs over and I'm like, "Who is this?" And then I got so many messages. People were like, "That was like a big deal." And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, I didn't even know who he was. So I followed him and we chatted a bit. He's actually like posted me recently. We did a Jingle Bell like swing for Christmas. It was like me and the third graders, and he put that in his story. He was like, "I never liked jingle bells, but now I do," or something. Like, yeah, he's a great guy. That was cool.
That's
That was
awesome.
really cool.
I know from
There was a
his
couple pages that have done that. I was on Squat
oh, cool.
University.
No way.
Yeah, I was on
Okay,
Squat
I didn't see
University.
that one.
That was crazy. He reached out and he was like, "Can I share your post?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then like it didn't go out until like a month later. I was like, "Oh, maybe he
Sure,
forgot." And then it went
sure.
out and I mean, and then two other pages have done. There's this one man, he shares fitness people, like a lot of women who get a lot of like kickback from men, like women in the
Mm,
fitness industry who get like the men that are like, you look like a man or
sure. Yeah.
your form is trash. You're like, the betas that get
Haters.
upset with women who are fit. So I get a lot of that, like a lot of those comments all the time, like all the time. But on one of my teaching posts, I got a bad comments, and he found that post, and he shared that post, and he always calls the person the C word. So it's a post of me and my students doing kettlebells, and then at the end, he's showing what the trolls say, and he's calling them the C word, and I'm like, oh my God. But like, he's hilarious. He's got a huge following. So every time these pages share me, my following goes up.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
One day
That.
I literally got on Instagram and it was like, I had like hundreds of new follows. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And that's when I found out that one page posted me. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't even know who, I've never heard of his page or anything. And then I'm like, wow, he's a pretty big deal. Like, it's just, yeah, it's cool.
Well, I
I don't know
mean,
how these people find me, but
if you're not getting like, it's like this thing, if you're not getting haters, like you're not doing something right. It's like
yeah.
you're gonna get that. But that's cool. I one
You
of the
either get
things
the
that
hater, you get the haters, and you get the absolute creeps. Like
oh
I always say,
sure.
everyone's like, people ask me all the time, they're like, "Why are you single?" And I'm like, I lost all hope. Instagram has scarred me for life, like for life.
Fair.
I'm just like, nope. I have this bubble up. I'm like, I don't want anything to do besides friendships. That's it.
Yeah, there's tons of, especially, I mean, I can only imagine on your end, being a female in the fitness industry, like with a big following, big like the creeps are definitely, I'm sure, sliding your DMs not is
It's
nonstop.
either it's either it's man haters or creeps. Like that's all there is. Like
You're like, oh man, that's so toxic.
or women haters, I mean, like the men that are
Yes,
like, oh,
yes.
they're even worse than the creeps, I swear.
Oh my God. Well, good for you for for getting through that and putting up with that.
Yeah, you got to have a thick skin for that. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
everyone's like, how are you? Like, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, no, you get to the point. It's like just another day, just another day.
Is it just like, all right, block, 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 like,
Block,
yeah.
immediately block. Like they'll type a paragraph. I'm like, why are you typing that paragraph? I'm gonna delete it and block you. Like
You're wasting your time.
you're just
You're not
typing
wasting my
paragraph
time.
for
You're
no
wasting your
reason.
time. One other point on Kelly Starrett, because I just read one of his books recently, and it's about I have both of his books, but one of them is called Built to Move. Actually, it's on the Supple Leopard is the first one. Built to Move is the other one. I have it on the shelf right there. But Built to Move is one of the big concept of his book is how can we get not just the professional athletes, but how can we get just Gen Pop, just people to be healthier, move better, and a lot of the concepts he has in there is like how can we find these habits or things like throughout the day. So I'm sure if he saw what you're doing in the classroom, he's like, oh, this is fantastic. But also on the same or the other side of the coin is like, I don't know if this is still a thing, but it's something I had heard somewhat recently is like a lot of schools have due to funding, due to this, that, the other thing, have been cutting back on maybe recess or like gym or like some of these
And
other physical
PE. Yeah.
arts even. So it's cool that they were like, okay, here's a way we can implement it. Even if you're gonna cut out
Yeah.
recess, we'll get in the classroom. We'll find a way to
I,
make this happen.
honestly, when I was in school, we had PE every single day. They
Wow.
don't have PE every day anymore. They have it two times a week.
Yeah.
And their recess is like 10 minutes. So they're not moving at all. And then, if these kids aren't in sports after school, like they're literally just sitting around. It's like an office job. Like you're just think of an adult who works an office job and doesn't work out and doesn't like everyone's like what how does this benefit children? It benefits children the same exact way it benefits adults. Like I can't sit down all day long and not move. I'm
Right.
gonna feel gross. I'm gonna, be stiff. Like I even just the confidence that weightlifting has given me, that's, people that don't work out and don't strength train don't really understand that. Or even the ones that I remember, like for a long time I was stuck in that, like I want to be as shredded as possible. Like strength wasn't my goal, movement wasn't my goal. It was how I looked. And I would like just train, oh my God, crazy hours, like tons of cardio. I would count every calorie I ate and just
Mm.
even training that way. Like I was not a confident person. I was miserable. And when I found kettlebells and like started training and moving differently, and it's like never ending. I think I know a lot about kettlebells, and then you see someone else doing stuff and you're like, what the hell are they doing like with that kettlebell? And then you try it and it's like there's just it's never ending. But like just shifting my mindset to like the strength training, I mean, the confidence I have in myself, it carries over into life. Like it carries over into other situations, not just working out. And I think if more people realize that, maybe more people would work out. But I think when you go your whole life and you're not, and maybe you grew up not playing sports, or you just get to this point in your life, you're just working and you have kids and you're not making that time for self-care. It's like you don't realize like how much, like what a disservice it is. And these kids, even just building the confidence that they're building in the classroom with me, it carries over into their schoolwork. Like last year I had kids at the beginning of the year that they would cry like when it was time for writing because they couldn't write, and they would start crying and like throw tantrums and wouldn't want to try. And but by the end of the year they're like trying on their own. They wanted to, like, it's all that try and get better and see your progress, that you see it with the kettlebells, that you see it with your schoolwork. It just all aligns. I
Right.
think it's like so important for kids to be moving throughout the day and do it. Like I think
Yeah.
cutting PT in recess is like absolutely ridiculous. Not to
Especially, yeah,
mention
you said
the
you're
food
at
that
like
they're
the third
serving
and
at
fourth grade.
school. Yeah, second and third grade right now.
Yeah. They need to move.
So they have to move, and they literally are like crawling out of their skin when they don't get to. My class last year, I swear to God, I had 17 students. I mean, 13 of them had to have ADHD. Like they were nuts. They were just like very high energy. Like it was probably like teaching a bunch of me in the classroom. Like they were all together. There was so much energy. It was like, whoa, like they would leave for a special and I would sit there and I'd have to like de-escalate. I was like, oh my God, but the kettlebells like helped with that. They needed that. The days that we had
Totally.
indoor recess, like all winter long, like we're gonna get out the kettlebells and work out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense. And to Kevin's point as well, and I know he was talking up to you off air. Like, is it a pipe dream, or is it feasible? Do you think we can get more of this type of stuff in classrooms?
I've honestly had a lot of people reach out to me, and teachers too, like
Yeah.
teachers, principals from all over, and just asking me like, how did you start this? I want to start this in my classroom. So then I'm like, well, I mean, I could sit here and tell everyone how I started it, but like that's like my time. That's, or I could like actually like write a curriculum and sell it, or it's just a lot of people have reached out. I've had like other people be like, we got to get this into other like districts, like why don't you like meet with people and see what you can do. And it's just like I'm not the idea person. Like I just did it on a whim. Like honestly, the way I started it, I brought in my kettlebell one Friday to my class just for, it was fun. Like at the end of the day, we have fun Friday for like the last 15 minutes. I was like, I'm gonna bring in my kettlebell and juggle. and I started like juggling for them, and they immediately were like hooked. And then so every week I would just bring in mine, and then I would like show them a movement, and I would teach them the name. And then one video, my first video that went viral, it was me dressed up. It was the day before Christmas break. I was like all decked out, and like I had like a skirt with bows all over it. I was lit up all over, but I was doing kettlebell movements, and I said it was either this or be on the Chromebooks all day. And
Right.
I was doing every single movement, and my class was shouting out all the names. Like they
No
knew like a
way.
dead snatch, a tactical snatch, a jerk. Like they knew every single movement's name just from this was before they even used them.
Sure.
So that went viral, and that's when people were like, that's when I got connected to Moses, and he was like, let's get kettlebells for your class, and he sent me 4 free ones. I brought the 4 in, we started using those like in small groups, and then people like started donating. So it literally just started with me just being like, oh, I'm gonna show my kids this cool trick I do.
Sure, sure.
And it
I
took
I
off.
feel like, I mean, obviously you want to, and this is just me brainstorming out loud, but other schools that might be like, hey, I want to learn how to implement this. One, obviously they probably reach out to you and you can help them, but like you probably want to get some level of like, all right, go get certified through Strong
Right.
first, or go get skilled, and then like maybe each school could have their one kettlebell person to help like go, because I'm sure you, because like you said, you go around to other classes too to help with this stuff.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
going into other classrooms now that I don't even work with. They're just like, hey, can you come in? And
Yeah.
I mean, even kids, students that aren't in my class, they'll see me walking down the hall, and it'll be me, and I'll have like 4 kids with me, and we each have kettlebells,
Yeah.
and the other kids are like, "Are those real?" And like they like want to, they're like curious right
Yeah.
away. I don't. I mean, I don't know if that. Even if it wasn't kettlebells and they did something else, maybe.
Sure.
But I honestly feel like, for some reason, that kids are really drawn to the kettlebells. I
Sure.
don't know
Sure.
why. I don't know if it looks more fun than a dumbbell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the, I mean, just me just thinking like it inherently, there's some increased amount of like skill and movement that you need to have with more athleticism that you need to have with the
yeah,
kettle. It does look cool. It does look very cool,
yeah.
you know?
I had someone just reach out to me yesterday, and she's actually a kettlebell coach. I don't even know, not anywhere near where I live, but
Sure.
she said she got her kids kettlebells for Christmas, and they were just like not interested. They're like, "Oh, cool." And then she showed them my page, and she said now her son is obsessed, and he's like got an awesome snatch like already since Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, all I had to do was show him your page. She's like, so I wasn't cool enough, but I guess you and your students were. So I think when
Sure.
kids see other kids doing it too, they're like, oh, I want to do that. And
That's awesome.
it's really cute with my ENL students. So I have a bunch of students. Some of them barely speak English,
Sure.
and they come down to my room with me and I'm teaching these kids how to read that don't speak English. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? But every day they come down, and the first, like, they'll point to the kettlebells and be like, can we do kettlebells? I'm like, yes, we'll do them at the end. Like, they want to do them every day. And it's cool because they get to do them more than the rest of the students. So they will show their classmates like how to do it. So it gives them that confidence because they're in a class with all kids that speak English. They don't
Sure.
speak English or minimal English. So
Sure.
they're like outsiders, but here they are. They're bringing in they're coming with me, and we're showing them, they're demonstrating these like the one kid can do a snatch with my gold kettlebell, and he does it really well. So
Wow.
now his classmates are looking at him like, oh, like this is all, he feels accepted. Like he feels accepted
Right.
now. So it's really
That's
cool to
cool.
see that.
So then you might have other kids coming up to them and be like, "Hey, teach me how to do that." And they're like,
Yes.
they're like the
Yeah. And
ninjas.
instead of for one moment of the day, they're not feeling like an outsider.
Right, right. That's really cool too. And I think I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but like a lot, like I think how, like as a physical therapist, I see a lot of kids when they get into some of like the older teens, and like they're having maybe some sort of issues, whether it's pain or something like that, and they haven't had a background in either sports, or they haven't had a background in movement, and I'm showing them maybe a different stretch or an exercise, and I'm like, The hip hinge is always the thing. I'm like, oh man, how come none of these kids can properly hip hinge?
Yes.
And it's cool that you're like, all right, let's before they reach that point, before they have dysfunction, let's teach them how to move. It's
Before
like,
they get all the bad habits and yeah. And then like I even think about adults when like so people like train if they get like a slight like it's not an injury. They might feel like sore and
yeah,
they think it's like an injury and they'll stop working out for
right,
like a week. And I'm like, "No, you don't have to stop working out. Like you're not injured. It's just you're tight or like here, do extra mobility before you I mean, every day before I work out, I'm like, "Oh man, like I don't even know how I'm going to lift today. I'm tight." I do my mobility for 20 minutes and then I'm like good to go.
sure.
And I think people just get like they don't realize like if they haven't played sports or like yeah, your body's going to feel different days, but it doesn't mean like you can't do anything at all.
Sure, 100%. That actually, that's one of the things you had mentioned way earlier in the podcast was that you're overcoming an actual injury right now, and you did have a post. I saw on your Instagram how this was really good. I'm going to read some of it. You one of the things you had wrote down was I've never had an injury that I haven't come back stronger from because I don't look at them as setbacks. I see them as an opportunity, which is a great, especially as a physical therapist, hearing that from a lot of kids or adults that are active and they're getting really, really mentally like not okay because of their injury. It's a really nice flip of the switch to be like, okay, let's use this as an opportunity to grow, which is really
Yes.
cool. But yeah, what
Yeah.
happened with your injury? You said.
So I was doing a Turkish get up. So I recently did a 40 kg Turkish get up. Like that was my goal for a
Woo!
very long time. 40 kgs. I got it on my right side, not my left. Left, I'm still at 36. But so when you're doing a heavy Turkish get up in the gym, it's fine because you have mats. So when if you fail, I'm very good at bailing. I bail and I roll
Yeah,
away. I've never had it like come close to injuring me. People are like, "Oh my God, aren't you scared?" I'm like, "Nah, whatever." So me being an idiot, I'm in my house one day and I'm like, let me see if I can. I was to the point where it's not, I can get it, but I can't get it every time. You know, it like depends on the
hmm,
day. That's
totally.
just with the Turkish get up when I finally got 36 kgs. It was like, oh, can I get it today? I don't know. And then that now I can get that every time, but I'm still 40 kgs. I didn't have it like down.
Yeah,
And I did it a few times, but I've also failed a lot. So I'm trying to do it in my house on rug, on carpet, and I was overcoming like the flu. I knew it was a bad idea right when I did because I prayed. I got up to my kettlebell and I went like this. I prayed and I go
oh,
up with it. And I mean, I don't just sit there and pray before I lift weights, but I did that day. I don't know why. It's so weird. So weird. So I go up and I'm like up with it and I felt my arm giving out. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna fall through my floor. And I
mm,
just tried to catch it. And I put my hand underneath and it took my whole hand and crushed it on the
oh,
floor. So I fractured I mean, I split my fingers like bursted, like skin was like
oof.
guts were coming out of them. I, and I'm sitting there and I roll over and I'm like just like holding my hand for a minute. I get up and I see like blood on the floor. And I just start cleaning my house. Like I'm like not
Oh,
cleaning the house. I'm like then I sit down and I take pictures and I'm like I sent it to my friend who's a nurse. I'm like, "Do you think I should go somewhere?" He was like, immediately. He's like, "Your finger is busted open." Because I was
yeah.
just gonna like bandage it up and be like, "Go to bed." And it was a snowstorm that day. I
Oh,
my snow we had the school day off, so I didn't leave my house. My car was covered with snow, and I had
oh,
to make an appointment for Well Now. And they only had an appointment that it was 3 minutes away, or an appointment in 3 minutes, or an hour and a half. So I
oh,
was like, I gotta go to the 3 minute appointment. It's right
sure.
down the road, but still, like it was snowing. So I'm driving. I have all the snow on my car. I
Oh,
have like a little thing just for my face. I'm covered. I put a washcloth around my arm or around my
oh,
hand, and then I get there. I had to get 13 stitches in one
oof.
finger. I was like, how? I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that. And then
Oh,
my two fingertips were fractured and it's funny because I didn't even think to have them look at my wrist. I didn't even know my
Mhm.
wrist was in pain because my fingers were so bad. So
Sure.
they stitched up my fingers and then they gave me a script for medicine so they don't get um infected. So
Yeah.
I go to get the medicine and I get home and I can't open it. I couldn't like move my wrist and I'm like,
Um,
"Oh shit." And I had to have my aunt come over because my parents live like a half hour away. She like opened all my pills for me. And that's when I was like, I don't know if my wrist is doing well. So I worked out the very next day. The very next day I worked out. I was like, you know what? I'm like, I need to, I could always like improve my hip strength, my mobility. Like
sure.
I can do stuff that like with one kettlebell or no weight and just like work on that. So I started doing that, but I realized like if I press down on the floor, like my wrist, I was like, something's off. I think I did
Mm,
either a bad sprain or I could have fractured it, but to this day I don't know. I never
sure.
got it x-rayed.
Sure.
So it's getting better. I can
Good.
finally like yesterday I pressed for the first time 12 kgs, but still like I couldn't even
Nice.
do that. But I didn't take any time off. I just started working out right away, but I started learning new ways to work out. There's I don't know if you've ever heard of this person on Instagram, Vanja Moves. She's a big
Mm,
mobility person. She's really like hips, like so I just started like stalking her page and I'm like finding all these new movements I can do to like train my hips. And so now every day I'm like obsessed now with like training my hips. So that
mm,
again, like that's gonna make me even stronger when I come back because that's something that I never focused on before. And I've always had like the tight like IT band and like my
right.
glutes were kind of weak. So now I'm like doing like glute bridges and stuff that I never focused on before. And I kept training my right side, even though some people are like, why are you just training your right side? And I was like, no, it will carry. I'm telling you, like,
Yes.
it will carry over. My left side will come back quicker because
Yes.
every time I've ever had an injury, I've been able to train around it. Even if it's
Yeah.
like I can only do body weight or I can only do like,
Sure.
like there's just always something you can do. So my right side is like crazy strong right now. I don't know if it's because I've been doing like hip stuff, but like I'm PRing with 36 kg snatches, and I'm like I wasn't doing that before my injury, and here I am.
Sure.
Like I got injured 3 weeks ago, and I'm snatching 36 kgs. Like,
Unreal.
um, and that's the thing. Like I'm going to be stronger after this. Like it's not. I remember I actually posted a video of the whole injury, and some guy that was following me for a while. He really used to like love me. He would be like, "You're so strong," blah blah blah, comment on all my posts. He wrote something like, "This is what happens when you go too heavy," and you're something like basically saying like I'm lifting like above my means or whatever. And I'm like,
Sure.
I go, first of all, I've been using kettlebells for 4 years now. This is my first injury in four
Yeah.
years. And secondly, like I've done this lift many times before. Anyone can get injured on any day. Like
Doing
I'm doing
anything.
hard stuff. Like
Yeah.
I realize that. Like I could get injured and I'm not afraid of being injured. That's why everyone's like, "Oh, you're going to get injured." I'm like, "Okay." And if I do, I'll heal. Like and if I do,
Right.
I'll come back stronger. Like that's how I look at it. I'm not going to even like playing sports. Are you going to not play sports because you're afraid of being
Right.
injured?
Right.
So I remember he commented something that pissed me off. Basically, he was like, "Oh, this is what you get." He was like, "This is what you get,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
Well, that's
"What?"
like throwing salt in the wound. What the heck? Like this is what you get. This is what
Yeah,
you
I'm
deserve.
like, "That's what
What
you're
the
gonna."
heck?
And then I got a couple. I put it up in my story, my fingers, and people like one guy messaged me. He's like, "Oh, you're never gonna be the same again. That's gonna be in a cast forever." And I'm like, "No, I'm working out the next
Jeez.
day, buddy." Like maybe for you it would be in a cast forever, but
Sure.
like
Sure.
I just know who I am as a person. Like I've had injury,
Yeah.
I've torn my ACL, and I was off my crutches in a week. Like they're like, "You're gonna be on your crutches for a month," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah. 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 That and
And I
another thing you had posted.
just, I mean, I put up like my PT. I think you cut out.
Oh, I'm back now. Do you hear me now? Oh, we're back. Sorry about that. Oh, is your I can't hear you. Is your audio on?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, there we go. We're good.
Now you can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I can see you.
All right.
But yeah, like you were saying, um, or after the injury, one of the other things you had actually wrote on Instagram was exactly that. Is like focus on what you can, setting realistic goals,
Yep.
use visualization, practice gratitude, and then maintain a connection through your sport, whether it's actually doing your sport or a support system through your sport. Um, so that I mean, that's doing the right things. That's all fantastic.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can still work out. I'm smart about it. Like I said, yesterday was the first time I pressed and it was a 12 kg. Like that's nothing. And like with my left hand, with my right, I can do whatever, but like I'm slowly like I'm still not doing double cleans. I'm not doing double kettlebell complexes because my wrist isn't there yet. So it's
Right.
like you just work around it and find other things that I started working on, like pistol squats. I'm terrible at pistol squats. And I'm like, all right, I'll start my pistol squat journey. Like I'll like focus on that or, I mean, I do. There's stuff. I'm getting to the point where like there's things that I miss, but it's like I'm still grateful that I'm like not really losing much strength, and I'm learning new things. I just miss doing pull-ups so bad. Like I cannot. I do pull-ups every day, and I'm like, I'm looking at my pull-up bar, and I'm like, I'll try. I'll like go. I'm like, no, nope, it's
Oh,
not ready. So I'm
you
not
don't
gonna
have the
be
one
stupid
handed.
to like I tried. I was like so mad. I was like, I should be able to do this. I tried because I tried one-handed push-ups. Even that, I was like,
That's
these
tough.
are way harder than they look.
That's tough. Yeah,
Um, I was trying the one-handed one night. I was like hanging like this. Like, all right, not ready for that yet.
that's too funny.
But I do notice it's getting stronger, so it gives like that gives you hope. But again, it's like it's not going to be the only injury I ever have, and I could either be depressed and like dwell and give and not work out completely, and then it's going to be that much harder to not to come back.
100%. Yeah. No, you're handling that perfectly, and setting a good example for other people. As if because, like you said, there's nothing with a 0% injury risk, no matter what you're doing, even if you're going for a walk down the road. And so, setting a good example,
Right?
if and when the injury happens, how to approach it and how to go about it. A couple kind of wrap up questions, and then I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah.
So I usually do the rapid fire towards the front, but we got right into it, which was fantastic. But I have a couple of these I'm just curious about. But uh, uh, a couple. I'll list them off first. So, do you have a couple people? You did mention a few people in the fitness space on Instagram, or people that you look up to, or um, are influential in the space right now. Anybody you want to shout out? Any books or podcasts that you've listened to recently that you really like? Um, and then the last question is maybe a favorite quote or a favorite saying or a mantra or something you want to leave the people with as far as like to end it off. But let's start with who's doing some cool stuff in the space right now that you're following, maybe on Instagram or just in general.
Okay. Oh my God, so many people. But Vanja, I don't know how to pronounce it. Vanja moves.
Yes.
Definitely like I could get lost on her page. Just super into mobility. I
Cool.
don't even know if I've ever seen her like lift a weight.
Sure.
I don't know. She's just, but I'm like that, and that's what I'm like focused on right now. So she's been awesome. Maximilian moves. He
Cool.
does some crazy cool stuff with a kettlebell. He's like this young kid, absolutely shredded. I probably lift more than him, honestly. Like I don't think he was like crazy heavy, but he is so mobile and just like, I don't know, he does crazy stuff. Like I'll try it, he humbles me. I try some of his movements and I'm like, what the hell? So he's pretty cool. And then there's this guy, Alex Dara Venetian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He is awesome. His workouts, like he does kettlebell and dumbbell, but he creates these circuits, and I swear to God, his movements are so innovative. And I mean, every time I try them, I'm like, holy crap! Like this is like it's full body, like you feel it everywhere. He's awesome to talk to. I talk to him a lot. Like he has a huge following now. He actually like blew up lately, like recently. But I talk to him like he'll DM me like we're cool, we're friends. But
Cool.
he I don't know why I was saying that. Oh, he's just super he's like a dork. He's like I'm this little like dork. He's completely himself online. Like he's not one of those like trend, you know how everyone copies the
Yeah.
trends, and
Yeah.
like that's something I've just never been into. Like I post what I want to post. Like I'm not gonna sit there and copy people and be someone I'm not. He's very like himself. Um his workouts are so cool, like awesome.
Awesome.
Um and then I like JT Zen. He's got some great kettlebell complexes. I'll go like if I don't want to come up with my own, I'll go on his page and just like steal one of his and shout him out.
Nice.
But those are some people that I like. I visit their pages a lot. I'm trying to
Cool.
think if there's any. I mean, there's so many of them, but those are
Sure.
like
Yeah.
my main ones that I'm like searching to see. Like, oh, let's see what Alex did today. Maybe I can like do something, especially now with an injury, because his like
Yeah.
he has such innovative things. I'm like, okay, I can find something on his page that I can do. So they're all awesome follows.
Very cool. Okay. Awesome. How about any books or podcasts that you've liked somewhat recently?
You know, it's funny because I'm not a huge podcast person,
Sure.
but I was actually talking to someone. I'm gonna look into. There's two podcasts that I want to look into. One is called Fit Girl Magic, and I think it's just like basically for like women in their 40s that are like into fitness, and I think it's like funny and humorous, but also like confidence building and stuff like that. And the other one is Grown Ass Women's Guide.
Nice.
Because I'm just like, I don't know, when I talk to my girlfriends like about the shit I deal with on freaking social media, and I'm like, no, I'm like too grown for this. And my one friend was like, you got to follow it or you got to listen to this podcast. So I
That's fun.
have them like on the bucket list, but and I'm like, well, I don't get it because I walk like 5 or 6 miles a day. Why don't I just throw on a podcast? But I usually like don't. I just go like silent,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's when I think and I reflect and stuff. So, um, and like same thing with, I mean, I don't read like fitness books or anything like that. Like when I
Sure.
read, it's like books like for enjoyment. So I'm
Yeah.
such like a Hunger's Game girl, and I just
Nice.
read
Nice.
I just read Night. I actually read this book with a kid I was tutoring. It's about the Holocaust. It's called Night by Ellie Wessel or
Oh yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. I could not put that book down. Like I was reading it with him, but like I was reading it. I was like, no, let me read it. Like he had to do a
Yeah.
report. That was such a good book. But um yeah, and I'm like, I'm just into like mysteries and stuff, like Gone Girl, all those like basic basic bitch books.
Love it. Love it. And then last question to leave us with: do you have a favorite quote, or maybe like a mantra, or something you want to leave the people with, as far as like, hey, yeah, to leave the people with?
I wouldn't say like I have a favorite quote, but I'm very into like much into like being your authentic self.
Totally.
Like don't be afraid to be disliked. Not everyone is going to agree with what you do. I even have a lot of like kettlebell coaches and like even strong first people that do not think that they don't like the way I train. Like
Sure.
I'm not I'm kind of like in my own little box. Like I'm going heavier than most. Like it's almost like I'm a power lifter combined with I'm different. Like and
Sure.
I'm not like completely mechanically smooth and like they are. So I do have a lot of like even strong first coaches that like I know for a fact like don't agree with how I train. I've had people like actually like dub me and like make posts about, like, and literally I knew it was about me, and they were like friends of mine at first.
Uh,
And it's like, it used to bother me, and I'm like, but that's like, I'm not going to change like who I, if they don't like it, then they don't like it. Your people will find you. So it's like, I'm just like a big person, like, don't trade authenticity for approval. Like, your people, your tribe will find you. Like,
Absolutely.
when you're fully like your own person, like, I completely 100% like know who I am as a person. There's not anything inside me that, like, I even say, like, these haters online, or like, they can't even touch me. Like, nothing they can say can make me feel less about myself, because I'm at that like point in my life. Like, I don't even care if I had like a boyfriend that was like, no, I don't like you. Like, I don't care. Like, fine, goodbye. Like, I just am that, like, I'm so in that mode with myself. When you find that peace and like you're truly happy with yourself, and you're truly like, you know who you are, you know your purpose, when you're like living in your purpose, like, nobody, people cannot touch you. I don't know. It's
I
just,
love that. Yeah,
it's a
that's
great, it's a
fantastic.
very peaceful place to be.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. Um, all right. So just to wrap up, let people know where they can find you. I'm guessing Instagram is probably the easiest.
Yeah, that's like my, I'm on Facebook, but I don't really use that. That's like, I use Facebook for birthday reminders. And I know everyone's like, you should be on TikTok. And I'm like, I just never got into the TikTok. So Instagram's my thing, Kettlebell Classroom.
Cool, cool. And if you reach out to and send you a DM, try to keep it appropriate.
Yes. Don't annoy me. You'll be
Please,
blocked right away. That's my new thing. Block right away.
right
I
away,
block
block.
while they're typing. I block while they're typing.
Love it, love it. Awesome. All right. Well, been great talking to you. This is a great. I'm sure people will find this really interesting. A lot of great nuggets to pull out of it.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for being on.
So fun. Thank you for having me.
You got it. All right. I'm gonna stop the.